Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Luca on Columbus, and I'm ready for the event.
ESA, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is ESA at Palazzo Chigi. How do you read me?
I read you loud and clear. Welcome on board the station.
I give now the word to ESA Director of Human Spaceflight and Operations, Thomas Reiter.
Good afternoon, Luca. It's great to see you. Good to see you in good health. And I have to say, after this remarkable EVA with some small hurdles, I'm very happy to see you there in good health and being with us. First of all, congratulations to the work that you have done so far. We are following that very, very closely. As you can imagine, ISS is visible to all of us here in Europe. And of course, we are following all the work that you are doing and will be doing in the next weeks and months. Of course, we keep our fingers crossed that there will be a repetition of this EVA. We had this morning a meeting with our colleagues from ASI, from the Italian Air Force, to inform them a little bit what has actually happened, what you are doing in the meantime. And so everybody is well aware, and we are very proud of you. You did a great job in this critical situation. Now, having said that, Luca, I would like to hand over to Enrico, the president of ASI. It's great to see you in such good spirit, and once again, let's stay in touch. I hand over now.
Ciao Luca, lieto di rivederti in ottime condizioni.
I'm happy to see you in good health, even on our behalf. There is no physical issue, fortunately, and I'm very happy to be here and to be able to perform my work. Evidently, you wanted us to have a thrill. We always see you smiling, and maybe some of the issues made it feel like it wasn't all good up there.
In
situations like this one, we remind ourselves that space is still a frontier.
At station, this is Houston ACR. We're having some dropouts on that mic. Can you please use the Space to Ground 2 P mic?
Houston Station, how do you hear me now?
Loud and clear, sir.
Thank you.
I was saying that sometimes an event like the one that happened this week during my EVA reminds us that space is a frontier with dangers. And thanks to the work of hundreds of people on the ground, we're still able to perform our work with very high safety margins, even when things unexpected like that EVA happen. Perfect. Then I will give the microphone to the Prime Minister, Enrico Letta, who wants to talk to you. Have a good day. Good day, Luca. I don't know if it's good day, good evening, good night. What is it? Is it good day, good evening, or good night? Right now, it's daylight, both from a point of view of actual time. We use the Greenwich Mean Time. But also, it's daylight outside of station. We're over the Atlantic towards Africa, and the sun is shining all around us. I wanted to tell you how proud of you we are and of the work that you are performing and to see that flag behind you, that for us is a huge reason for pride of all the nation. President, I would like to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. For me, it's a pleasure to invite you on board of the space station. In reality, I'm the one to be proud of Italy and of the system that allowed me to get here to station and to perform the activities that I've been performing. In a moment in which the national sport seems to be just talking about the problems in Italy, we can show that Italy is still going forward, given its best, and it's still able to give a good impression to the world. Luca, what you're saying is wonderful from space, but I also hope that messages like these will come from the ground. I would like to ask you, I would like to know a little bit more about what you're doing, and also from your emotions and your sensations. How did you see our country from up there, our Mediterranean Sea, the Earth? What are the feelings that you experienced when you went out there? I imagine that it's a unique and memorable experience, and I would love to know what feelings you experienced. I will answer the first question first. What's it like to look at the Earth from space? One of the most beautiful things of our planet that is very unique is that the shape of Italy, looking like a boot with its islands, it's a marvel to behold, with the Mediterranean that shines with a deep blue. Seen from up here, the thing that I understood, that I realized, that first of all, there are no borders, neither external, neither internal. There is no north, there's no center, no south. There's only one Italy, which geographically is one continuum. So that's something that I would like to pass on to those who in Italy today still think about divisions that are really in the past. It's a beautiful earth. It's an earth that still makes me dream, and it's an Italy that I miss ever since I've been living abroad. About my extravehicular activities, today I brought with me something that I've been very happy to have during the last extravehicular activities. This is the helmet that I used during both my spacewalks. This is the helmet of my EMU suit. This is the helmet that saved my life and kept me alive, saved my life in the second EVA. As you can see, Mr. President, there's only a very thin visor to separate the man from inside the suit from the external space. To be able to see the universe and our world only separated with such a small membrane is something that I'm always very grateful for to Italy and Italians, and I hope that I'm able to share this through communication, words, the videos. This is a privilege that I'm proud of Italy for giving me this privilege.
Mi dà una sensazione di che cosa vuol dire avere paura.
Can you give me an idea of what's it like of being afraid? Are you afraid? It's a very important question. I always answer that only people who are not wise are not afraid. But it's true that we do some work that exposes us to certain risks, but we're trained to utilize fear to be able to act and focus our efforts towards the work. I'm sure that from a physical point of view, the effects of fear are the same that I would experience on Earth. So a higher heart rate, adrenaline in the blood. But while I was out there during the last EVA, so with water that was covering my eyes, ears, and nose, I couldn't hear or see. Only my instinct guided me towards the airlock. And the training brought me to think about the plan. At that point, there's no room for fear. There's only room for trying to come up with a plan of action. So in my mind, I already had an idea of what to do if water would have made it to my mouth. I would have opened the purge valve in my helmet, and during repressurization, in case I hadn't been able to eliminate the water, I thought I would have reached a certain altitude, and I could have opened the helmet. I would have probably passed out, but I would not have drowned. So the ability to think in a linear way, even during risky moments, is due to training, an extraordinary training that I received both at the European Space Agency and the Italian Space Agency and other space agencies. So from my standpoint, it's a training that allows us to have these skills. What's it like living with your colleagues up there? Mr. President, this is too a great question. So behind me you can see a symbol which was created in the U.S. this year. In the United States this year, we celebrate the collaboration between the U.S. and Italy. So with my colleagues, I hope to be an example of this cooperation. So with my American colleagues, with whom I spend the majority of my time working, who are great people, we share the same passion and objectives, but also with our Russian colleagues, with whom I'm having a great time. I have tried to integrate myself with them by learning their language. And here on station, we're the world champions of cooperation. 5 completely different agencies. One is ours, which comprehends tens of countries. Everything is working in harmony. It's an extraordinary environment. Can you tell me in one word, what's it like in a day? What is a day like, and how many hours is in a day? What's a day like? Our day is a little bit artificial. We have 16 dawns and 16 sunsets, so we cannot follow a cycle, a natural cycle of dawn and dusk. So we have a 24-hour day, which begins at 6 a.m. GMT, so about 8 a.m. in Italy. And so we get up at 6, and then we have a work day that is about 8.5 hours of work. And we work until about 7 p.m., at which time we have a debriefing with our agencies. During these 8 hours, we do everything from maintenance of the station. Today, I perform maintenance on the spacesuits that we used for the spacewalks. And then we maintain the station to maintain it in good state, preemptive maintenance, and then science. And this is one of the most important moments because the science that we perform on board has immediate benefits for the Earth. And then, of course, we do exploration. With the science that we're performing today and with the studies that we are carrying on, we open the road for future research. And then we also do about 2.5 hours of physical activity, because without gravity, we need to perform physical activity to preserve our bodies. When you come back, I'm waiting for you because I have so many other questions to ask you. Mr. President, for me, it would be an honor to be able to meet with you and answer your questions, and even those of all Italians, who I believe have many questions. For me, once I come back, it will be a phase of giving back after receiving so much. It will be important to give back by explaining what I've done, what the Italian Space Agency is doing, and what the international space agencies are doing, and to invite people to believe in space and believe in Italy, which is a place of excellence for space, for everything space-related. I'd like to remind you that right now, almost 50% of the space station was built in Italy, so really one claim to fame that's unique in the world that no other country can claim. Yes, can I ask you to say this? Can you tell everybody who's listening what you're saying? Can you talk about the Italian leadership in the space field? It's a very strong leadership, proven by giving very important results. Can you talk about this leadership? What does it mean for the future? What does it mean to invest in research in space? Very simply, communicating in this way. The space station right now, I'm in the Columbus module, our European lab, which was built in Italy. In front of me, Node 2, which is one of the nodes where we sleep and spent most of our times, also built in Italy. Node 3, also built in Italy, is the most alive center in the station, to which is attached the cupola, which is also built in Italy, and probably the most beautiful place on station. Right now, the ATV is docked to the station, which is the most important transportation vehicle by ESA, and the module is built in Italy. So we can see that Italy has a promise to exploration, which is to continue building and innovating for space. It's a promise that was also taken elsewhere when Cygnus, the next spacecraft that will come later this year, will carry an American flag because it's an American project, but once again, the pressurized module was built in Italy. So a recommendation for our young, who are our future, to invest your knowledge and your studies in engineering, in research, in science, in aerospace science, because there's a lot of space in this field in Italy for excellence. So, in a time where we talk about crisis all the time, I'd like to remind you to concentrate on research and future, and concentrate on our youth, and this is one of the best times to be able to do that. Luca, you said some beautiful words, really. A national pride, very strong. Words that I hope will encourage all of us to do better. So I truly thank you, and we cross our fingers for you and break a leg for everything that's coming to you. We are with you. You are the witness for our country, for Europe and the European Union up there. And really, I will be waiting for you when you come back in 4.5 months. And if you maybe have a place on the next mission, I'll come up with you. Mr. President, I am the one more time that I need to thank you for your time and all the Italians and Italy for this privilege that has been given to me. It will be a pleasure to be able to meet you, and even a greater pleasure on the next mission to have some Italian company, if there's room on the spacecraft that will bring me up here. Until then, it will be my job that I feel very strongly about to bring our flag forward, our colors, by doing the best that I can. The best that I can do is give 100% at every moment, which is something that I want to do until the end of our mission. Thank you again.
Grazie ancora a lei, tenga alta la bandiera italiana e quella europea.
Thank you again. Keep the Italian flag high, and so the European one as well. Thank you.
The station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister Letta, ESA, and ASI. Station, we are now resuming operational audio comms.